Hi, so this is my RivSynth project. It consists, well, the first part consists of three LFOs. First two LFOs have separate waveforms whose waveform are the traditional square, sine, tri, or sawtooth. It's something I created. Um, the third LFO is just like a normal LFO who modulates the mix between the first LFO and the second LFO. So the waveform for the third LFO is just something, the traditional sine, saw, tri, square. But let me just show you first what my first LFO looks like. Now I'm sending a MIDI message. That's what it looks like. The reason it started, the amplitude started getting bigger was because the third LFO frequency is at 0.02 and it's still modulating despite the amplitude of the second LFO is at 0. So I mean, as you can see, you can like change the LFO modes, say from sync to free run to shot, and you can vary the LFO amplitudes. So say, oh wait, let me just show you the second LFO before I show you what the third LFO does. So sending a MIDI message to the second LFO and it's being modulated by the third LFO very slowly. That's what it looks like. Kind of like a double-edged sawtooth, if you want to think of it like that. Alright, so let's turn on this third LFO a bit higher, and it's going to modulate the mix at this frequency between, the mix between the first LFO and the second LFO. So let me just put the amplitude of both LFOs, LFO1 and LFO2 up to 1. And yeah, let's just try with the third LFO with a sine waveform. Sending a MIDI message. Let me see MIDI note on. Now let's try and make this slower so you can see the transition between both waves. The kind of staircase looking wave and the double-edged sawtooth. Double-edged, slowly transitioning into staircase looking waveform, and back to the double-edged sawtooth waveform. And I'll just keep on doing that for as long as I want. If I modulate the amplitude of the third LFO, definitely not, it'll change, but not completely. Just stay there. But it'll start, once I send another MIDI note on, it's gonna start from the second LFO waveform and move to like somewhat halfway in between and just stop there. Now let's go crazy and put the LFO frequency up to like, let's say 16-ish. Amplitude of the third LFO, the modulating LFO up to 1. MIDI note on. Something really cool. Although not very, you can't really discern what it looks like, but overall it looks like it's doing something really cool. Let's put something lower frequency. Something lower. Slightly lower. I mean, now you can definitely see like both waveforms showing up. Double-edged sawtooth and the staircase kind of waveform. Alright, well that's it for the LFO part of this project. The second part of the project is making a pitched oscillator with waveform of a C1 or C2 continuity. I decided to make my waveform just trapezoid. The I guess the reason why this part of the project was harder was because we had to also use BLEP correction on this to just make sure that the discontinuities wouldn't cause as much aliasing. So just adding BLEP into it cut down a significant portion of aliasing compared to just having, say, a normal trapezoid waveform without the BLEP correction in it. So let me show you what this looks like. Turn show output of oscillator on, sending MIDI note on message. Something smaller. There, trapezoid waveform. Yeah, that is RivSynth. Yeah, thanks for listening.